and body. Deal with your soul. Don't forget the most important thing in your life. And I'm reading from a Christian Orthodox article. All ancient religions, the religious traditions maintain that humans are composed of both material and spiritual elements, but the correlation between the two has been understood in different ways. The dualistic religions view matter as originally evil and hostile towards humanity. The Manichaeans even believed that Satan was the maker of the material world. Classical philosophy regards the body as a prison in which the soul is kept captive or incarcerated. Indeed, the ancient Greek philosopher Plato deduced the word soma or body from sema or tombstone or tomb. Many people believe that the body is like a tombstone concealing the soul buried beneath it. In this life, the soul endures punishment while the flesh does duty as its fortress so that it can be healed, while locating the body as in some kind of a torture chamber. The ancient Indian philosophers speak of the transmigration of souls from one body to another, even from a human being to an animal and vice versa. The doctrine of metempsychosis or reincarnation was rejected by early church tradition as incompatible with divine revelation. It was proclaimed senseless and erroneous on the basis of the assertion that the human being who possesses reason and free will cannot be transformed into an unintelligent animal, since all intelligent beings, since all intelligible being is immortal and cannot disappear. Moreover, what is the point of someone being punished for sins committed in an earlier life if he does not know why he has to endure it? After all, it's impossible to recollect one's previous existence. The early church fathers based themselves on scripture, teach that the soul and the body are not foreign elements united temporarily in the individual, but are bestowed simultaneously and for all time in the very act of creation. The soul is betrothed to the body and is inseparable from it. Only the totality of soul and body together comprises a complete personality, a hypostasis. St. Gregory of Nyssa calls the unbreakable link between soul and body an inclination of affection, commixture, community, attraction, and acquaintance, which are preserved even after death. Such a concept is far removed from Platonic and Eastern dualism. Christianity is quite falsely accused of preaching that the flesh should be despised and the body be treated with contempt. A contempt for the flesh was held by the number of heretics, the Gnostics, the Montanists, the Manichaeans, as well as by some ancient Greek philosophers, the views of whom were subjected to rigorous criticism by the church fathers. In Christian ascetical literature, whenever we encounter questions of enmity between flesh and spirit, beginning with St. Paul the Apostle, quote, "For the desires of the flesh are against the spirit, and the desires of the spirit are against the flesh," end quote, Galatians 5:17, they concern sinful flesh as a totality of passions and vices, and not the body in general. Also, when we read in monastic sources of the mortification of the flesh, this is about the putting of death of sinful proclivities and lusts of the flesh, not contempt for the body as such. The Christian ideal is not to debase the flesh, but to purify it and transfigure it, to liberate it from the consequences of the fall of Adam and Eve, the fall from the Garden of Eden from grace, to return it to its primordial purity and make it worthy of assimilation to God. Christian tradition has always held an exceptionally elevated view of human person. What is a human being from the point of view of an atheist? An ape, only with more developed abilities. What is a human being as perceived by a Buddhist? One of the reincarnations of the soul, which before its abode in a human body could have existed in a dog or a pig, and which following bodily death could again find itself within an animal. Buddhist teachings denies the very concept of personal existence. The human being is regarded not as the totality of body and soul, but as a type of transient stage in the wandering of the soul from body to body. Christianity alone presents an exalted image of the human being. In Christianity, each of us is regarded as a personality, a person created in the image of God, an icon of the Creator. When God created human nature, he created it not only for us, but also for himself, since he knew that one day he would himself become a human being. Thus he fashioned something adequate to himself, something possessing an infinite potential. St. Gregory Nazianzen calls the human person a created God, quote unquote. The human person is called to become a God. In his potential, man is a God-man. This is by suros.org, Orthodox Faith Text, Soul and Body. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.